Hello. I've come to share a little project with you. I'm really excited about it because I love it. So this is a combination of two people's kind of ideas that I've kind of put together and merged and changed a little bit and done my own thing with. And I am going to show you how I made these boho beads. Now, I am not a fan of making boho beads, but I'm a bit addicted to these, so I'll probably make a few more. I don't know what I'm going to do with them because I probably don't do the kind of projects to use these on. But these are a combination of Paula Ferroda's paperclip charms and Gayle's bead dangles that she has made recently. It was a couple of weeks ago now, I think, maybe 3. I made some of Gayle's beads and I love them. They're so cute, but they did take a little bit of practice. And I also made, this is just one, made a few of Paula's little paperclip beads. And what I did was kind of like, I was just thinking, I don't know, I think I'll make them with something other than paper clips because, you know, that's Paula's thing. And I started off making them with some safety pins, and then I ended up somehow with these. So I'm going to show you how I make them. Right, so the first thing you're going to need is a safety pin, and it doesn't really matter what colour. This is a kind of copper colour one. They don't open particularly brilliantly, but that's probably a good thing. No, this one's not going to open. We're going to have to do it closed. But what I will need to do is just open up this end bit a little bit, actually, because we are going to need that later. This is fine. The problem is the pin is too long, so I'd need to bend this up a little bit, and I don't want to do that because I'm quite happy for this to stay closed forever and ever. So on these ones I've used various things. I've used some fabric and I used some blue laces. It doesn't really matter because once it's put together you can't really see the fabric underneath, but I'm still going to use this purple one. Sorry about all the eyelash trim. So I've also got a very funny camera angle, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit before I do smack my lens. I'm just going to thread this through my safety pin, and I've got to the stage now where my fingernails are ridiculously long, so they do need a bit of a file down. They've usually broken by now, but they are driving me a little bit crazy. And I'm just going to put some Fabri-Tac on here. Going to fold it over and just hold that into place for a second. Now the good thing about using fabric or lace is what I found is they're a little bit tapered, the paper clips and the safety pins, and paper doesn't wrap around them quite as easily as fabric or lace. They look amazing, but fabric is a little bit easier to work with. Now you can wrap this round as many times as you like, depending on how thick you want your bead to be. So I do hope this stays in focus because I literally have my camera in my face along with my 2 dowel poles. So I hope I don't get another black eye. Let's take the lid off my glue. Just going to pop a little bit of glue along here. Put the lid back on, and I'm going to close this. Just hold that in place a second, and I'm just going to pop that. Oh, that's not, didn't hold that down for long enough. This is one good thing about nails, you can hold that. It doesn't take long to dry the old Fabri-Tac, but you could certainly use hot glue if you wanted to. Right, I'm just trying to get some of this glue off my fingers. Right, now what I need is some eyelash trim, and would you believe I had my pink one here, right here, and now it's gone. Oh, I did have a lilac one. Ah, where did I put it? Oh, I honestly do not believe that. It was right here. Okay, right, I'm going to try this one. This one here, I used this purple. These are the gorgeous trims that I got from the wonderful Tracy at Yarn and Pencil. The problem with this is it's so soft. It was really difficult to use. So I'm going to try this one and just, now I've tied it in a knot, hope it's not quite as soft as the other one, but it does feel it actually. So I'll apologise in advance if this goes a little bit pear-shaped. And I also apologise about the shadows. There is nothing I can do about it. So you can see the fluff. I just thread my tweezers through the top, this top bit here. Thread it through. So far. Grab hold of my eyelash trim and then I pull that through. And I'm just going to tie this in a double knot. I really hope you can see and this is clear. I am extremely close, but the lens hasn't got the same zoom on it as my old camera. Oh, I actually didn't tie that in a knot. So I've tied that in a double knot. Now this piece I'm just going to kind of hold down the pin length and I'm just going to trim off what would hang out the bottom. And then this piece I'm going to wrap round going down, put a bit more yarn off, and then going back up. And I've got a little gap here, which is what I need because I'm going to have to fabric-tack this down. So I'm just going to trim this. I'm going to hold that out. Like I said, this whole process is a little bit fiddly. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue. Oh, or rather a lot of glue. And then I am going to hold that down. While I'm holding this down, I want to say a massive, massive, massive thank you to my Canadian bestie, Chantel. Hi, Chantel. Chantel knows, you know, how down I am at the moment because my kids are away. They come home tomorrow. Yes, one more night. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you. I want to show you, but I'm not sure if I can with the camera at this angle. But she had this awesome gift sent to me. I love it. I love it. I've already had 3 cups of coffee out of it today. That's going to be my new favourite mug. Love it. Thank you, Chantel. So the next thing we are going to use is some of this wire. And this is a 22 gauge. It's not called that in the UK. What was it? I don't remember what it was called, but I asked the people in the shop what a 22 gauge was, and this is what they gave me. But it was in millimetres. I don't remember what millimetres it was, but this is what I got from the shop that I asked in. So I'm cutting off quite a big length because I don't want to run out. I'd rather have some left. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking my safety pin. This is the top and this is the hole at the bottom. I'm threading that. Well, actually we will thread it through at the end. I've been threading it through now, but you don't need to. So what I'm going to do is, this is where you could go and watch Gayle's tutorial because I'm sure she's going to be able to give you a better explanation than I can. I'm going to hold the very end with my pliers, and I'm not sure how well you can see with the light, and I'm going to twist. And then I am going to take that little loop. It's a little bit fiddly, like I said, big piece of wire hanging around, and just make sure that loop is reasonably well closed. I'm going to just pop that down there and see if you can see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm taking my flat nose, my round nose pliers. I get in trouble every time I don't say the names properly. And I'm holding that loop, and with my fingers I am pushing the wire in to the gap in my pliers to make, sorry, this is hitting the camera. This didn't happen obviously before because I didn't have the camera here. And I'm just twisting it round, keep holding it flat. And twisting it round. And it doesn't have to be a perfect loop, it actually looks better if it's not. However, I don't like that one. So my camera is really in the way of this wire. So I'm going to cut that loop off and I'm going to start again. Okay, so I'm taking my pliers. Sorry about the glue on my fingers. Taking my pliers and making the start of a loop. And then I'm going to close it. Ooh, that just broke. That's because I'd cut it. Right. Third time's a charm, apparently. Okay. So I've got my loop. I'm going to hold my loop with my pliers. Do you know I did these without any trouble before I started filming? And I'm just going to hold it again and use my thumb to push that in. Twist it again. Yep, this is going really badly. Please do go watch Gayle. Gayle does this brilliantly. I think seeing the final, there we go. Can you see? I don't know if it's best with the shadow or without the shadow, but I've now got a little swirly loop at the end. So now what I'm going to do is take the pliers and hold them here, and I'm bending the loop so I now have a bit of an S shape. And I'm going to hold it here and I am bending it again. So this is really hard to do with my camera where it is. I now have this shape. So now I'm holding this, the whole thing with my pliers, and I'm straightening that wire up. And I have got way too much wire here, so I'm going to trim that bit off just to make this slightly easier. There we go. So this is really something you have to practice because it is not easy. I think I probably made about 10 bead dangles after I watched Gayle's tutorial. So I'm going to use purple beads. So I'm going to go to my end, and I've got this kind of, it's kind of got a lilac-y tint to it, and I really do have a lot of glue on my fingers. And I'm just going to pop that one in first. Then I think, oh, should I just go big one? I'm going to go for one of these. I'm sorry if you can hear my neighbours. They're enjoying a family visit. And then I'm going to go for another one of those lilac beads. Now in Gayle's tutorial this is where she would, you know, just finish off the bead dangle. But what I am going to do is I'm going to thread this through the bottom hole of the safety pin. Okay, and then I'm going to push the wire from behind up against the safety pin, and I'm going to bend the bottom down so it's in a bit more of a straight line. So now I'm going to hold the bottom of the pin and I am wrapping the wire around. Now you could use a cord for this, it doesn't have to be wire, and you can also thread beads on it as you go, which might be what I try next actually, not in this video because I think one's going to be enough. And what I want to do is I want to bring the wire to the pin, but I need it the edge where I can tuck it in to where the sharp piece of the safety pin goes. So I'm bringing it to this position. Okay, and what I'm doing is I don't know what I'm saying, what I'm doing is, because you can see what I'm doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the wire flush with the edge of the pin. Oh, that's just gone flying somewhere. So now we've got this sharp edge of wire, but we're right next to the bit the pin goes in. So this is a little bit fiddly. I'm going to just tuck that using my round nose pliers again. I'm tucking the wire in to where the pin goes. I don't know if you can see that, but the wire now goes into the where the pin catches. And that is our safety pin boho bead in the style of kind of Paula and Gayle, the lovely Gayle. And I tell you what, you realise how talented Gayle is when you try and do something like her bead dangles, because they do take a little bit of practice. But there you go. I hope you found that useful. I'm sorry if my beads are dangling on my board, even though I've got this rubber mat here. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that is our little bead tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you could follow that. I will be back with reinforcing the spine of our gutted book. I've actually changed the gutted book that I'm using, so I will be back and see you soon. Bye.